Hello everyone, I'm Benjamin Kier. Welcome to the Benjamin Kier Show. This is our last episode for the month. Maybe you've noticed this, we've had 5 episodes in March since our first show lined up at the start of the month. Episode 1 was Tuesday, March 1st. If I may be so bold, I could not have started this show at a better time. In my career as a broadcaster and life as a fan, there's never been a March quite like this. This has been the most exciting and entertaining March ever in sports. This month is making history in so many ways. It's only fitting that as it comes to a close, we write some more history. In a groundbreaking amendment to the Rooney Rule, all 32 NFL teams will hire a minority offensive assistant coach for the 2022 season. This is part of a series of policy enhancements announced Monday to address the league's ongoing diversity efforts. According to the policy, the coach can be a female or a member of an ethnic or racial minority. These individuals will be paid from a league-wide fund. The NFL doesn't want to stop there. They want to make sure that this coach is not just a title on a team's website. They want to make them greatly involved. The coach must work closely with the head coach and the offensive staff with the goal of increasing minority participation in the pool of offensive head coaches that may eventually become head coaches on other teams and produces the most sought-after candidates for head coaching positions. Notice how the league is emphasizing offensive coordinator, not just coordinator. They're not looking to make this happen for defensive coordinators. The league recognizes that the NFL has become an offensively dominated game. Most of the head coach candidates and ultimately those selected are coming from the offensive side of the ball. Tight end coach, quarterback coach, offensive coordinator. That's the path to becoming head coach. It used to be linebacker coach, then defensive back coach, followed by defensive coordinator. But times have changed. So the NFL, in an attempt to be more progressive, knows that in order for women and minorities as a whole to find success in the NFL, they've got to come from offense. Because in 2022, offense drives ratings, and it also drives wins, and playoff runs, and Lombardi-winning franchises. Will it look like a different dynamic? Of course it will. We haven't seen a woman put on a headset and call plays, or talk to the quarterback when he's on the sidelines to discuss in-game adjustments. This game is changing, but it's changing for the better. I can't wait to see this implemented. Watching a woman one day eventually as a head coach, calling plays, facilitating touchdowns, that's a game that I want to be a part of. That's a reality that I want to watch, and one that I want to celebrate. NFL owners have approved a modified proposal for overtime in the postseason. It will guarantee each team a possession. Wow, someone call the 2018-2019 Chiefs roster and this season's Bills. It's got to feel bittersweet knowing that the format that ended your magical run and your respective seasons has now been changed to give both teams an opportunity. Also, what happened? This was a proposal that had been denied in recent years. And when it was brought up again, insiders like Ian Rappaport said the amendment had no traction, that it probably wouldn't be passed, and the rule wouldn't be changed. Of course, if you've been following the story recently, you know that the proposal was gaining steam. Every year around this time, NFL owners meet to review rules and pressing issues in the league. They've been spending a week just north of where I am at the Breakers Hotel in Palm Beach, Florida. The owners collectively agreed that they needed to change the overtime policy. So, the postseason amendment passed in a 29-3 vote. Very successful. Clearly an overwhelming majority were in favor of the change. There were 2 teams in favor of the rule change for the entire season. The Colts and Eagles proposed a mandatory possession for both teams in all games. I find that interesting. I would have thought that a team from the AFC West, which has loaded offenses, would have wanted the season-long overtime rule. A team who's got a really competitive and tough year-round schedule. If you told me 2 teams were proposing a full season rule, and I had to guess which ones, I would have picked the Broncos and Chargers. Teams who are really fighting tooth and nail within their own division. But the Eagles and the Colts? Philly plays in the NFC East, one of the weakest divisions in football. And Indianapolis? Well, their division doesn't exactly scream offensive powerhouses. I think overall, the format did need to be changed because of the outcry from fans and the sample size of results that were affected by the previous format. In 12 years, 12 postseason games have been decided by the previous format. Those 12 games are as important to those franchises as any that they're ever going to play. The Miami Dolphins traded 5 draft picks to Kansas City in exchange for star wide receiver Tyreek Hill. The Dolphins also gave Tyreek Hill a new 4-year, $120 million contract. That deal makes him the highest paid receiver in football. It also guarantees him just over $72 million. At his press conference, Hill seemed so genuinely excited. Whether it's because of the sunny new location, a record-shattering deal, seeing a player be that excited about joining your organization makes fans just as excited. That sells tickets, that makes the team feel supported. That boosts locker room morale. Tyreek Hill is a superstar. He's the fastest player in the NFL who's been selected to every Pro Bowl that he's been in the league for. And arguably most important, he's a Super Bowl champion. He's been a part of winning teams. He knows what a winning culture looks like. Even when it comes to players like Hill who are on the younger side, having someone in your locker room who knows what it's like to raise a Lombardi and what it took to get to that point, it's invaluable. It makes players around him want to experience that too. The Dolphins are experiencing a change in their own dynamic. They're going from a defensive-minded head coach and a defensive-powered team to a more modern, offensively powered offense. They brought in a young, offensive-minded head coach in Mike McDaniel. That's what the NFL is now. In order to win in this league, you need to game plan with a complex, unique scheme. And with the additions at offensive line and 2 new running backs in the backfield, this is a team that's preparing to win in the modern era of football. Add Tyreek Hill to that recipe, and I like the Dolphins' chances of winning within the AFC East. I'm not saying that they'll beat out the Bills for the 1 seed, but they can definitely compete with New England and with New York. And maybe, just maybe, win a playoff game. And hopefully make a run. Because that's what they need to focus on. They need to win big. And they need to win now. The United States men's national team took a 5-1 win over Panama on Sunday night. The victory puts them on the verge of qualifying for Qatar 2022. The only scenario where they would be denied automatic qualification is if the U.S. suffered a 6-goal defeat at Costa Rica tomorrow on Wednesday. If that worst-case scenario did play out, the U.S. would be sent to a playoff. The performance against Panama was really reassuring. The best player in North American soccer, Christian Pulisic, scored his first career hat-trick with the national team. And we also witnessed the strongest group effort that we've seen from the U.S. team in a while. Contributing to the win were Paulo Arriola and Jesus Ferreira. They each scored additional goals which made the dominant win possible. Let's hope that they can continue to repeat these heroics in their next match. And with that, we say farewell to this week's episode of The Benjamin Cure Show. Thank you for continuing to watch and support. If you haven't done so already, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Also, turn on the notification bells so you never miss an episode. As always, I'm Benjamin Cure. I'll see all of you next week.